I should be going live here. And so I don't know what was, okay, for some reason it did not work the first time. I don't know if anyone saw that or not, but I wanted to share with you all, how do I create my gaming clips? Now, one of my brands is a gaming arm for my content ecosystem, right? And I just wanted to share with you all, like, how do I make those clips, right? And so the videos themselves, I try to either stream or I'll just pre-record, and I'm getting better at the strategy and how I want to go about doing that in the future. But really, with clips, there are two ways you can get clips. And those two ways will kind of differentiate how you will go about making clips. So the first one is literally just pressing the clip button on a controller. Let me see if I have one around here. I did not. And essentially make a clip either on a Switch or on the Xbox or PlayStation and just have a clip already made through that process. Cool. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, it's already made. However, it is horizontal, so you generally have to find a way to repurpose it into vertical later. Now, the other way of going about it is having your Twitch stream, or just any kind of stream, like right now I'm on YouTube, for example. You're taking that stream and then putting it into a tool like Opus Clip, Eclipse GG, which I wouldn't recommend that latter one. But there's some other tools out there too. I don't have access to Uncanny GG, but there's other tools, Hype Trigger, and maybe I can leave a list down below or something like that to help you guys out. But essentially speaking, you have to then find those clips. And while Opus is great for podcast, it is working with gaming stuff. And depending on your game, you're going to have different results. I think I actually had pretty good results with Pokemon, for example, when I had a Pokemon stream I put in there. But with State of Decay, I've had really good results. I've had kind of iffy results. And I think it's because there's so much talking going on. And I've even used the Clip Anything model, which allows for to kind of watch the video, not just read the transcript, right? So it helped a little bit in that regard, just watching to make sure there was any funny moments or any kind of crazy things that happen. But I think that they still need to improve it, and as a partner for them, I have been talking to them about it. But I wanted to share with you guys the tools that I'm using. So first and foremost, whenever I first started making clips, I used CrossClip, right? I came across Join Combo, which is what CrossClip had copied, and Streamlabs is kind of known for that. But the funny thing is, I have to admit, CrossClip did a way better job, to be honest. And it was frustrating to me because I wanted to use Combo, I wanted to use the original tool, but not only was Streamlabs cheaper, it was also able to take my ultra wide footage, because all these Apex games were recorded in 2450 by 1080, meaning ultra wide, not just a regular 16 by 9 screen. And for some reason, Combo just crapped out every time I tried to do it. And I think really Combo was one of the only tools that really had any issues with it. Streamladder was kind of iffy. I think it did 50-50 where sometimes it did fine with ultra wide, sometimes it didn't. But CrossClip never had any issues, never broke a sweat, essentially. And essentially here, if I wanted to show you what it looks like, I'm just going to do it. I'm feeling lucky because that way you can kind of just show it off. Essentially what it does is that it finds the sections for you, and you have different layers. And so if I were to put an Apex clip in here, that's what my layer actually is right now. My layout is Apex. And so maybe I should go back and just find a clip real quick. Yeah, you can see I have a whole bunch of State of Decay clips. Come on, there we go. Gaming, clips, Apex. So I'm just going to drop one in real quick, just so I can show you what it looks like. And it's nice, you can just drop it in the entire page. I uploaded a clip, come on. Or not, okay. Okay, whatever. Just let me do a new one. Maybe it was too long of a clip or something. Well, this is awkward. But essentially speaking, you drop it in and it would automatically... Okay, cool. I don't know why I was giving you such a hard time about it. But I want my main gameplay here in the middle, and that way you can see it mostly in the middle there. But I also have the information when it comes to the squads. Like I want to see, is it a ranked game, that kind of thing. And then there's also the mini map, which is important for a lot of people playing the game. They want to see what's going on, where you are in the map. And then you have the health. And honestly, I used to include the other people. It's weird how they made this so compressed. I think that was the issue, or I just said that CrossClip was better at ultra wide, and yet it's actually doing black bars. So that is weird. But it is pulling from the right sections too. It's acting like those black bars are not there. So that is interesting. But CrossClip's customer support is pretty garbage, so it's not like I could tell them about it. But I just wanted to show it to you guys because this is probably the most advanced you can probably get with clipping, right? And other tools can do this too, like Streamladder, and I think even Eclipse. And you can even do similar stuff with Opus, but really for the most part, if I have a lot of different things I need to pull from, like maybe when I get to my Apex clips, I might have to go back in here. But on the free plan, you can only get 720p, and there might be a logo on there. And I'd rather usually just pay for the actual membership for $5 or whatever. The next thing I use is Opus. Now, as you can notice here, I have a lot of projects, and these kind of failed for some reason, and all I was doing was reframing, so that was weird. But basically, all of these other clips, all the way down to about right here, right? These were all just 1 minute clips, 30-second clips that I was just reframing. So it took this horizontal viewport and then helped me make it into a vertical one. And I think I kept it like this because I wanted to have the health bar up here because I'm about to be infected into a zombie. And so I usually have just actually a full screen. Let me see if I can find another clip that will show that. Usually what I do is just do the gameplay. So let me kind of zoom in. And I'll have the full actual gameplay at the top because I'm not having the face cam, so might as well. And then have an enhanced view of the middle part of the screen here. Now, whenever I run a video in Opus for this, I generally have to do it manually, which is weird because their AI reframe is usually pretty good. But I wanted to mention that because like lately I've been having to go in there and reframe it, but it makes it so much faster. Like doing it through here is still a hell of a lot faster than doing it in DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere or even CapCut or anything like that. I found a new tool though that's really interesting. I love VideoBolt for making my animations and stuff like that. But they have a couple tools here. One is resize your video, and one of them is actually merge video, which is kind of similar. But let me find a clip here I can upload just to show you guys what it looks like. Make sure no one's commenting. Okay, cool. And then let me do State of Decay something like that. Halo, Mass Effect, where's State of Decay? There it is. So I just drop in this clip, right? And it's interesting because it's really fast. It's actually pretty much one of the fastest I've seen. You saw how crossclip was messing up, but crossclip is usually decently fast. And I found myself just kind of like in shock of how quickly it worked. There's a few different things you have to do, like right off the bat. Like it's okay, now it's in horizontal. You reframe it into vertical. Click zoom. And basically the fit would be, okay, come on. It just kind of squeezed it all in there. It's like, I want to actually zoom in and see my character. So zoom in. And then I make sure it's 1080p. So it's like, you can actually see the zombies more. 1080p. Cool. And then from there, it's basically done. Now, I'm not doing this for all my clips because some of my clips have stuff on the HUD like, oh, I'm about to be turned into a zombie. I want to have that in the video itself so people know why it's so intense. But for let's say this clip, you just go through and I'm just trying to fight these special zombies and I just want to showcase that there's special zombies here. I don't need to reframe it. You just click that. It's pretty quick. I don't want to actually process this because I'm probably going to do this particular clip in Opus. But my point is, it's interesting how you can take these clips. These are already made clips, right? They're not necessarily clips from a VOD, but they're just ones I found myself. I was like, ooh, let me press that button. That's cool. If I go back to Opus, actually, now that I think about it, I'll show you what it looks like when it comes to what a full video would look like. So let me go back into here, share screen. And so like if I go into one of these full ones, all I did was drop the video in there, told it to do gameplay, and while like I said, I had to go in there and sometimes change the reframe. Again, like if you're just willing to put in a little bit of elbow grease, you can get some decent clips out of this. And so like this one, for example, I just made it vertical. I just did the full frame view. But then if you skip through a little bit, I think, yeah, I changed it to, well, actually, I don't think I edited this particular clip, but it changes the gameplay. And so all I need to do is zoom this out so you can see the full screen, move this towards the middle because for some reason it's left aligned. And again, this is not a harp on Opus. It's just a matter of like, okay, I want to make sure I showcase to you guys what it looks like. And it's interesting because, you know, you get all these clips from a 40 minute video. And yeah, I think this clip's pretty decent already. But my point is, like, you can go through and just tweak it here and there, and over time, you'll end up finding what you want from it. Now, I don't necessarily need to go too far into this. I don't see anybody in the chat today anyways. I just want to make sure I get my live practice in today. So it might be a shorter one, but it's really interesting to think about when you want to make content, right? There are tools out here to make it a lot easier for you. I've heard some decent things about Nexus clips, so maybe I'll try them out just to see how they work. I just want to make sure I try everything across the board, especially when it comes to finding the gaming clips, because I want to toss those streams in and not have to worry about it, right? And so while I might find out of those 15 videos that I put into Opus, I got about 50 clips, which is a lot lower than I would with the podcast video. But that's still 50 clips I didn't have before. And so I'm happy with that. And honestly, too, a lot of the videos were kind of monotonous, where I was either running across the map because my car wouldn't work, or I was doing stuff like inventory management. So a lot of the streams were kind of boring. And that's not actually Opus' fault. It's like, how can I find good clips if I'm not doing anything fun? And so I think that if I just really did better at engaging with the audience, I think one of the videos too, I had microphone issues as well. And so it might have made it harder to find good clips. So again, this is more on my streams rather than Opus. Plus, I think State of Decay is not the greatest choice for putting into a clipping, because it's not really that interesting in a lot of cases unless you really like the game. For me, if I see a State of Decay clip, I'm like, ooh, let me see what happens. Are they gonna fight the Pharaohs? No, they did that wrong. Don't do that. And so I think that when I start streaming more Pokemon stuff, it'll be better. But I just wanted to share with you all the different tools that I've been using. I actually have spent a lot of yesterday just working on these alone for the most part. I'm actually having to just reorganize all my clips. This is a good little tangent here for anyone interested. How you organize your folder structure is so important. I talk about this on my main channel with knowledge management and really just information architecture. So I had all my files kind of separated into like, okay, there was a folder for vertical clips, and then there was folders for each game. And I realized that like this is just not sustainable, especially now that I have so many more games and so many more clips. It's just like all those clips were dumped into the vertical folder, and now I don't know which ones are which. I don't know which games are which. I have to like squeeze my face, squeeze my eyes to like find the thumbnails, or click it and open it. And eventually I realized, okay, I need to make separate folders for each game. Within those, I'll do here's converted, so all the horizontal clips, because you want to keep those around just in case you ever need them. You put those horizontal clips into the converted ones once you've converted them into vertical, and then the vertical ones will stay in the main folder itself. And even this might be kind of iffy if you have a lot of both. But then once you put it in the main folder, once you start posting them, you put them into the posted folder. And I think that that would be helpful. There might be another case where you have another folder for just like vertical. But I feel like going into a folder and going out of a folder into another one made it harder. So that's why I wanted to have that main folder be where the vertical ones were. But how you organize your content is very important. That applies to not just gaming content, but any kind of content. All right. Thank you for watching the stream, and bye.